Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Today's analysis is based on milk. Let's start with the lecture, milk analysis. In today's lecture, I'll be discussing about the methods for detection of adulterants present in milk, different types of methods for detection of preservatives present in milk. The next is the determination of quality of milk sample by MBRT test, and we will test about the turbidity test for milk and the sensory evaluation of milk. So these were the topics that I'll be taking today in this particular lecture. Taking the first to detect various types of adulterants present in milk. Adulterants are the compounds which are usually mixed with the particular food material in order to gain some type of profit. So these are the impure substances that are mixed with the pure substances. So for example, taking the first adulterant to be as a using of cane sugar in milk. How we can detect the use of cane sugar if it is present in milk? What we have to do is, as we know that sucrose is absent in milk and its presence in milk indicates the adulteration. Presence of sucrose in milk can be determined by the following methods. Fructose in cane sugar reacts with resorcinol in HCl to give red color. What are the reagents that are required for this particular test is we need a resorcinol solution of 0.5%. Now what we have to do is we have to weigh 0.5 gram of resorcinol in about 40 ml of distilled water and 35 ml of concentrated HCl of 1.2 molar normality to it and add it to it and make up the volume to up to 100 ml using distilled water. This is how we make the 0.5% of resorcinol solution for testing the presence of cane sugar in the milk. What we have to do is we have to take 1 ml of milk in a test tube and we have to add 1 ml of resorcinol solution and mix it properly. Place the test tube in boiling water for about 5 minutes. Then withdraw the tube and observe the color. If there is an appearance of deep red color indicates the presence of sucrose or ketose sugar, that will shows the positive test for having an adulterant milk. And in pure milk sample, no such red color will be developed and sample remains white in nature, as particularly shown in the below diagram. The first one is the control, that is the normal milk. The second one is showing the negative test for cane sugar, and the third one shows the positive test, that is the presence of cane sugar in milk and showing the adulteration of milk. Next adulterant is to generally what happens, starch is mixed in the milk. So how can we detect it? Firstly, we have to make the reagent for detection, the starch. We have to make a iodine solution. For that, we have to dissolve 2.6 gram of iodine and 3 gram of potassium iodide in a sufficient quantity of water and make up to the 200 ml of volume. The simple procedure for this is to take 5 ml of milk in a test tube, bring to boiling condition and allow the test tube to cool to room temperature. Now add 1 to 2 drops of iodine solution which we have prepared to the test tube. The development of blue color indicates the presence of starch, which disappears when sample is boiled and reappears again on cooling. Now here is the diagram. The starch is not present in second picture and it shows the presence of starch in the third picture, which is showing the adulterant milk. The third adulterant is the presence of urea in milk, and for that we have to prepare a DMAB reagent. We have to dissolve 1.6 gram of DMAB in 100 ml ethyl alcohol and add 10 ml of concentrated HCl. The procedure to be followed is mix 1 ml of milk and 1 ml of 1.6% DMAB reagent in a test tube. Distinct yellow color is observed in milk if urea is present. The control normal milk shows the slight yellow or color due to the presence of natural urea. The milk here shows the negative test if it is appears in light color or white color, and if it appears in yellow color it will shows the positive test for the urea. Next is the detection of ammonium compounds in milk. Sometimes it happens some ammonium compounds are also added in the milk and it is an adulterant milk. So for that we have to prepare a Nestlé's reagent. And by using the Nestlé's reagent we could be able to detect the presence of ammonium compound if it is present in the milk. The Nestlé's reagent, we have to dissolve the following chemicals separately and very accurately as per the instruction. First, what we have to do is we have to bake the 8 gram of mercury chloride in 150 ml distilled water in in a separate vessel. Next, we have to make a 60 gram of sodium hydroxide in 150 ml distilled water, means we have to make a solution of this. And the third solution what we have to prepare is 16 gram of potassium iodide in 150 ml of distilled water. So these three reagents are prepared separately in separate vessels, in separate glasswares. Now what we have to do is we have to add reagent A to reagent B and mix well. Means we have to mix the reagent A and B, that is of mercury chloride and sodium hydroxide solution. We have to together mix it and then to this mixture we have to add reagent C. You do not have to mug up all these things, you do not have to mix up all these things as per shown in this slide. Firstly follow the step by step procedure only. Do not mix it C reagent firstly, you have to add it only first A and B, and then after that when it is mixed properly then you have to add the mixture C. So to this mixture we have to add reagent C mix and dilute the contents to 500 ml. Now leave this solution undisturbed and decant the clear upper layer of the solution and store in a stoppered glass bottle. Now this is how you have to prepare your Nestlé's reagent. You have to mix the solution A and B together, and then you have to mix this C solution into it and make the volume up to 500 ml. Now what procedure you have to follow for ammonia detection? Take 5 ml of milk sample into a test tube. Add 1 ml of Nestlé's reagent. Mix the content of the tube thoroughly. Observe and note the color. The appearance of yellowish or grey color confirms the presence of added ammonium salt in milk. If certain ammonium compounds are either present in the milk, then the test tube will appear slightly yellowish or greyish in color, which confirms the ammonium compound or adulterant milk. The next under this adulteration is the test of sulfate, presence of sulfate in the milk. The presence of sulfate salts which may be added to milk to raise its SNF level in milk and can be detected by using barium chloride. So how can we prepare the reagents for the test? First is the barium chloride solution of 5% weight by volume. We have to prepare it. What we have to do is we have to dissolve a 5 gram of barium chloride in distilled water and make the final volume of 100 ml. Another solution is the trichloroacetic acid TCA, that is of 24% weight by volume aqueous solution. Dissolve the 24 gram of TCA into distilled water and we have to make the final volume up to 100 ml, and thus we get the 24% weight by volume of TCA solution. Procedures to be followed under this: we have to take 10 ml of milk in a 50 ml stopper test tube, add 10 ml of TCA solution into it, filter the coagulated milk through Watsman filter paper grade 42. Now take 5 ml of clear filtrate and add few drops of barium chloride solution into it. Observe for any visible precipitation in the tube. The formation of milky white precipitate indicates the presence of added sulfate like ammonium sulfate, sodium sulfate. zinc sulfate and magnesium sulfate, etc. in the milk. The control shows the milk and the negative test in between the picture, and the positive test for showing the presence of sulfate in the third picture. Now we have covered the these are all 5 were the adulterants that are used in the milk. Now what we have to detect, the second experiment is to detect the presence of preservatives in milk. In order to increase the shelf life of the milk, or in order to protect the milk, some preservatives are also added in the milk. And how can we detect it? By we can go through the following methods. First detection is the boric acid or borax in the milk. For boric acid for boric acid detection, we have to prepare the reagent, that is the turmeric paper. We have to weigh 2 gram of turmeric powder and mix in it with 100 ml of 80% of ethanol. Filter the solution and collect the filtrate. Dip the filter paper into the filtrate, dry it and cut it to strip size for storage. Okay, this is the method how we make a turmeric paper strip, because we detect the presence of boric acid test by dipping these strips on these strips only. So it is a procedure to make a strip before you perform the experiment. Now procedure is, we have to take a 5 ml of milk in a test tube and add 1 ml of concentrated HCl and mix well. Dip the strip of turmeric paper and dry it. If turmeric paper turns red color, it shows the presence of boric acid. Or if does not change any color, it appears only yellow in color, then it shows the negative test. Means that there is a no boric acid is present if the turmeric paper is attains same color, and if it turns into the red color, it shows the presence of boric acid into the milk. The next is the formalin detection, hence test in milk. Okay, we have for formalin detection test, we have to take 10 ml of milk in a test tube and 0.5 ml of 1% ferric chloride solution. Add slowly 5 ml of concentrated H2SO4 through the sides of the test tube. Formation of purple ring will be seen at the junction if formalin is present. Now here is the diagram which clearly shows the presence of formalin in detection, how the test could be seen if the formalin is present. The third picture shows the positive test and shows the presence of a purple ring in between the two layers of white and yellow, shows the presence of formalin. Next is the anionic detergent test in milk. Some types of anions detergents are also added in the milk. How can we detect it? We have to follow the procedure. Take 0.5 ml of milk in a test tube and add 0.5 ml of methylene dye. Add 1 ml of chloroform and vortex the mixture for 15 seconds. Centrifuge the tube at 10,000 rpm for 3 minutes. Observe the tube color distribution. Dark blue color in the lower tube confirms the test. Here the 2 Eppendorf is shown, which shows the anionic detergent test in milk. After the centrifugation, in one of the tube we got the dark blue color showing the positive test for presence of detergent into the milk, and the pink color shows the negative test for the detergent in the milk. The next is the benzoic acid and salicylic acid detection test in milk. What we have to do is, we have to take 5 ml of milk in a test tube and a few drops of concentrated H2SO4 we have to add. If milk precipitate will be formed, add 0.5% ferric chloride solution drop by drop. If buff color will appear, that shows the benzoic acid is present, and if violet color will appear, it will shows the presence of salicylic acid. So it will depends upon the milk that whether by addition of 0.5% drop by drop ferric chloride, it will shows the buff color or salicylic color. Both the results are shown below, that the buff color will shows the benzoic acid presence and the purple color clearly shows the salicylic acid present in the milk. Next is the soap test in milk. Procedure is to take 4 ml of milk in a test tube and 10 ml of hot water and 1 to 2 drops of phenolphthalein indicator into it. If pink color will be obtained, it shows the presence of soap. Here is the diagram for presence of soap in the milk. Next is the beta-naphthol detection test in milk. The steps to be followed under this experiment is milk is extracted with chloroform and heated with potassium hydroxide for few minutes. If a deep blue color appears, it indicates the presence of beta-naphthol. The next category is the determination of quality of a milk sample by MBRT test. That is the methylene blue reduction test. Till now we have discussed about the presence of adulterants in the milk and various tests performed to detect the presence of preservatives in milk. Now the third is the determination of quality of a milk sample by the MBRT method. The principle involved under this is the reduction test is based on the oxidation reduction activities of the bacteria present in the milk. The faster is the reduction, the more will be the bacteria. So the principle on which the MBRT test is depends that if milk contains certain bacteria or if milk is impure or is not of good quality, then the methylene blue dye will reduce at faster rate. And if it is in pure form, then the reduction of the methylene blue dye will be of slower. Okay, procedure. Prepare methylene blue solution by dissolving 1 ml of methylene blue in 250 ml of sterilized distilled water. Transfer 10 ml of milk into the test tube and add 1 ml of methylene blue in it. Mix the content of the test tube by inverting it 2-3 times. Incubate the test tube at 37 degrees Celsius for 6 hours. What you have to do is observe the incubated milk tube for every 30 minutes for 3 to 6 hours for reduction of methylene blue. You have to keep your eye onto it. For every 30 minutes you have to take out your test tube from the incubator and see the difference in color, whether it is done in light, some turn in lighter form or not, or remains the same. That is the change in color of the sample from blue to white. Record the time required for decolorization. Next test is the turbidity test for milk. The procedures to be followed under this is take 20 ml of milk in a flask and add 4 gram of ammonium sulfate. Keep it for 5 minutes and filter it. Place in the test tube in boiling water bath. Transfer the test tube into the another beaker and cool it. Interpretation: the milk is considered sterilized when the filtrate shows no turbidity. As I told you, after cooling means after placing in a test tube in boiling water bath, transfer the test tube into the another beaker and cool it. After cooling, if the sample turns to be transparent, it means that no turbidity shows, and it shows that the milk sample was properly sterilized. And if it shows somewhat little bit turbidity is there in the sample, then it shows that the sterilization of the milk was not done properly. The last test involves the sensory evaluation of milk. Till now we have discussed about 4 tests, particularly with the detection of adulterants and detection of preservatives added in the test tube, in the milk, and MBRT test for detecting the quality of the milk, and sterilization test for by turbidity testing. Now there is for quality checking, there is a sensory evaluation of milk. Sensory evaluation may be defined as a scientific method to evoke, measure, analysis, and interpret result of those characteristics of foods perceived through 5 sensory of sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. Where sensory evaluation is applied in dairy, these are applied in certain steps, that is inspection of raw material, new product development or improvement of existing product, cost reduction, quality control, selection of packing material, and shelf life study. Okay, sequence of observing sensory characteristics of milk and milk product. When a dairy product is offered for sensory evaluation, its appearance aspect is first noticed. It is perceived quickly and non-evasively. A basic taste is one of specific taste buds which is responsible for that particular taste sensation. These are five basic tastes, that is this sweet, sour, salting, bitter, and umami. Umami is also kind of a good flavor. These four factors combine to determine the four of any food products, color of any food products. Appearance is the first attribute perceived by the consumer and often become deciding factors in purchasing decision. After appearance, the orthonasal perception of odor and aroma of the food takes place. Upon taking the food in the mouth, the retronasal in nose perception of aroma continues. Perception of food's consistency, texture, and possibly sound, especially for crispy and crunchy foods, are also perceived inside the mouth. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture today and understood each and every aspects of experiment to how to check the quality of a milk, and up to which the milk is gone through the quality testing in dairy industries. For more information, please log on to our website www.itlsacademy.com. Thank you for being with us.